Year 12, and welcome here to the 6th video here for our first unit of the HSC year. We're looking at depreciation today, and specifically straight-line depreciation. Depreciation is the process whereby some assets decrease in value over time. So ideally, if we're investing money, we purchase assets that will increase over time, perhaps like a house or shares. But some things that we purchase, like for example a car, might retain some value over time. I can sell it down the track and get some money back, but I'm likely to get less than I paid for it originally, right, because it has depreciated in value. Now, similar to interest, where we have simple interest and compound interest, we can calculate depreciation by more than one method. Today we're going to look at straight line depreciation, okay, which is fairly straightforward. There is some language that's involved with this, and let's talk through that now. First of all, we're going to talk about the salvage value of an asset. That's essentially its future value, what it's worth at some point in the future. Okay, right. How much is my 15-year-old car worth? That's its salvage value. Now, its initial value is how much I paid for it at the beginning. And that's usually represented with a capital V and a subscript 0. Now remember, in maths, subscripts are those little numbers just below the line. They're like a label, so that 0 means sort of at time equals 0. So the initial value of that asset. Okay, that's what I paid for my car. S for salvage is what it's worth somewhere down the track. Now we have the rate of depreciation, how much it goes down, and this is almost always quoted in a dollar figure per year, okay, and represented with capital D. And finally, the number of terms, which is usually dealing with depreciation number of years, is a lowercase n. Let's jump straight into an example here. We purchased some computer equipment for $28,000 and it depreciates by $4,500 per year. Right, so in 1 year, it's worth $4,500 less. In 2 years, it's worth 2 lots of $4,500. It will be worth $9,000 less than its initial value, and so on. Use the straight line depreciation method to find the value of the equipment after 3 years. Okay, in that case, I'm going to say that my salvage value, oops, here we go, S, is equal to my initial value, is $28,000. Minus my rate of depreciation, 4,500, multiplied by the number of years, is 3. Okay, that means that my salvage value, the value of the equipment, after 3 years, so my salvage value here is $14,500. Okay, right, the next part here, when to the nearest month will the equipment be worth $11,000? Well, in this case, we know the salvage value. Okay, so my salvage value is 11,000. So I'm going to write that down like this. We'll see. So I'm going to say 11,000, right, is equal to my initial value. That's the 28,000. Minus my depreciation is 4,500 times n. Now I don't know exactly what n is at this stage, do I? So I have an equation here that I need to solve. Right. I'm going to start by adding 4,500 n to both sides. And subtract 11,000 from both sides. Means that 4,500 n is equal to 17,000. That means that, oops, put a line there. Therefore, n is equal to 17,000 over 4,500. Now, what happens when I pull up the calculator and try that one out? 17,000 divided by 4,500. Right, I get 3.7 recurring. Now, I want to the nearest month. So if I multiply that by 12, it's going to tell me how many months that is. So after 45 months is the nearest month. N equals 45 months. Okay, there's my unit. Rightio, now again, when to the nearest month will the equipment have no value? Now this is an important case here. My salvage value equals 0 is 28,000 minus my rate of depreciation, 4,500. N, rearranging this, and I get 4,500 N equals 28,000. N is 28,000 over 4,500, like this. The calculator tells me that that is 28,000, like this, divided by 4,500, right, is about 6.2 recurring. 6.2 recurring years, but I want to the nearest month equals, so we multiply that by 12, and I get about 75 months. Now this does raise the question, what would happen after 76 months? This model of depreciation after 76 months in this case would suggest that the salvage value is negative. Okay, that's not likely to be a very accurate description of the value of those goods at that time. So this model has limitations, primarily being, or the most obvious of the limitations, is that this model will take you into a negative value, which probably doesn't accurately describe the value of that asset or goods. All right, that's straight line depreciation. It's in many ways a bit like simple interest. Okay, it depreciates by the same amount every year. Rightio, that's it for this video, for this exercise. If you've got any questions, make sure you jot them down, ask your teacher in class. Right, I'll see you next time.